Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of fad diets. If you want to eat nothing but cabbage and beans and fart your way to success, I'm with you. I'm on your team. I'll be the one in the crowd cheering for you with pom-poms. But if you navigate the easy to digest foods versus the hard to digest, you can develop your own fad diet that's either easy or hard to digest, and you'll clear your skin, you'll fart less, and you'll have energy to pray.
I love your colon, girl, it's my world. I won't ever make a sound.
So a couple of years ago, I was trying a vegan diet. It was high fat, and I was eating a lot of macadamia nuts. I bought like $450 worth. It was a lot bigger than it looked like online. It was like 25 pounds. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. That's the best deal. And then I was like, wow, that's a lot. And I was eating through them, and I was having the worst gas ever. And my fiance did a bunch of research into the hard to digest foods according to Ayurveda. And everything I was eating was on that hard to digest list. And I was like, yeah, that's probably why. And so I've fixed myself, and I want to share that list with you today. She painstakingly, for hours, categorized it into different food groups, whereas it wasn't like that online. So we have a list now of all the different meats, beans, fruits. So let's start with the easiest to digest food on earth is fruit. And there's only two fruits that are on the hard to digest list, pears and jackfruit. I once noticed when I started eating fruit again after one of my fad experiments, I ate a meal of pears and I got all these cramps. I was like, why? Why me? Like, it was so painful. They weren't ripe, and they're bricks. They're hard little rocks. They're not right. Nobody craves pears. You've craved a pear? Like, be real with yourself. There's nothing in a pear that you need. It's the least nutrient dense fruit, but jackfruit also is one of the fruits that gave me like an itchy throat and tongue. I was like, I'm allergic to latex. I've sucked off too many condoms. So fruits you're pretty safe with. When it comes to vegetables, this could be some eye-opening stuff for you. So the hard to digest vegetables are all my favorite ones. It's all the cruciferous. Your bok choys and your broccolis and your cabbage and the cauliflower. I'm ignoring this list for that. Those are my favorite things to eat. And I'm not saying never eat these. It's just if you're having digestive issues, you might want to remove some of these hard to digest things for now and then challenge yourself later in an Olympic style event. Can I push this out of my ass in 8 minutes? That's the world record. Corn, I have always had trouble with corn. Just sharp pains. I was like, even if it's organic, I'm like, that's still GMO. Don't lie to me. Mushrooms, I think we all know that. I've been eating mushrooms lately. I pee mushroom scent now. It's weird. It's a strange smell. Parsnips. No one likes those. But yeah, mushrooms. Pumpkin. That's surprising. You'd think, oh, it's just a squash. Think again. Radish. Shiitake mushrooms. All the mushrooms. Black radish. Spirulina. Lou Corona warns against it. There's some toxin in there. An algae-related toxin. Then all the vegans supplementing their DHA. Where do you think that comes from? Algae. Lou Corona has just warned you, foreboding it. And tomatoes. Let me tell you something. My teeth feel fantastic, and I'm eating tons of fruit. I'm avoiding all the mistakes I used to make. You may think, oh, he's back to a high-carb diet. No, this is a new version. It's always a new, upgraded version. I'm avoiding tomatoes. I'm not putting lemon in my water. I'm not juicing lemon. Fiery ginger stuff and kombucha, all these acids I used to eat, the unripe fruits, the sour, the nectarines, and the peaches, nothing like that. You know what's safe? Melons? Absolutely. Papayas? Yep. Mangoes? That's a sub-acid fruit, but it's safe for my mouth. Nothing else. Bananas? Even dried fruit if you rinse your mouth out. Now, just because something's on the easy to digest food doesn't mean it's healthy. Like garlic, that's a very questionable food. That's very exciting and pungent, and I don't know, man. Bad things could happen. Pickles, that's a lot of sour acids. You have to add salt to those, that's poison. Sauerkraut, same thing. Avocado, I guarantee you, avocado is hard to digest. You eat enough of them. So So like, I don't know, man. That's a questionable list, but it's a one-track mind list. It's just easy to digest foods. Doesn't mean that it's not gonna ruin your meditation or something exciting. So keep that in mind. Dairy is just seems to be hard to digest across the board. The only one is goat milk that is easy, and almond milk if you're a vegan cow, and coconut water, which is somehow a dairy substitute. Now, when it comes to nuts and seeds, these are all hard to digest. And no, I don't care if you make your Lou Corona yogurt, those are not easier to digest, not in my body. Just instant constipation. I get constipated with high-fat foods. And people are like, just up the fat. That just slows it down even further. Fat's very hard to digest. So like, I don't know, you could make some of these easier, but I was doing macadamia nut yogurts and still farting like a clown. So pretty much all nuts are hard to digest except for hemp seeds and sunflower seeds, which nobody likes those. So have fun with that. Your sunflower butter, hemp seeds, they taste like grass mixed with wheat and corn. I question the value of nuts and seeds. I don't know, maybe the occasional one just as a treat, but they're not even that much of a treat. Unless you roast them and salt them, then it's like, you could roast and salt anything and it would be yummy, but nuts and seeds are questionable. I haven't had any. I find low fat is the key to transit time victories in the Olympics. Now when it comes to grains, quinoa, basmati rice, oats, I don't know, man, I disagree. My energy just tanks off a cliff when I eat oats, whereas when I have quinoa, it's like, oh, I'm energized and happy. I don't know what it is about oats, but whatever. Flours, tapioca, barley, puffed rice, rice cakes, but never eat brown rice. Just the white rice. Wheat, disgusting. Oat bran, pasta, popcorn, rice flour, seitan, wheat bran or flour, wild rice. You would think that's a hippie rice. No, but I tell you, my digestion feels so good, and the key for me is one, sticking to these types of easy to digest foods and low fat. That seems to be the key. So like, I'm eating fruits, I'm eating starches, rice, the basmati, lots of vegetables. I'm still adding the cruciferous because most of my diet is easy to digest, and then a couple little broccoli challenges. Can you jump over that hurdle? And then no nuts, no seeds, and fish is sporadic. Maybe 3 nights a week. I'm basically vegan. The majority of the time, majority vegan. Now when it comes to the most interesting of all categories for potential almost vegans, beans. Here's my debate. I'm not eating enough protein except on the nights where I do eat a small amount of fish, and then I get myself up to the bare minimum, like 0.7 grams per pound, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to wither away and die. On my vegan days, however, I'm nowhere near that. And because I'm not eating any beans, I've just started having some quinoa. That's 15% protein. We're getting somewhere with that. But if I want to up that, I'm going to need the bean family in my life, and there's only 2 that you're allowed to eat, and those are mung beans and sweet peas. Both delicious, so start there, but start slow. I've always heard people say, like, it's 1 teaspoon of beans, and then you wait, and a teaspoon a day, and then you increase it to 2 teaspoons. Good luck with that discipline. That sounds hard. I myself am heading towards a balanced plant-based life, and my fish consumption will probably wither down to once a week or so, just for the occasional nutrient that I could be lacking. A little DHA, a little B12, easier to digest protein. But once I can handle some beans and I'm not feeling weak, because I've definitely lost some strength. I could do 7 one-arm negatives, and I was working towards half one-arm pull-ups. And now I'm back down to 3, struggling, and my elbow hurts a little bit. Like it's strained because I'm not providing the amino acids to recover from those intense workout. Monkey strength, like in their abilities. So beans need to be my savior, and that has to be done slowly, and then you'll live. Now when it comes to animal products, the carnivores are not going to like this, but the only easy to digest animals are egg whites and fish. Now, You with your beef and your duck and your pork? Yeah. Like I was having a lot of issues on carnivore with rashes, nausea, constipation, fatigue at some points, and then super energized, and then fatigued and depressed, and then happy. A lot of swings for like blood sugar high up all the time for some reason. Beef, it's hard to digest. It makes you hot. It's too hot on our world. That's what Satan is like in hell. Hot all the time. So beef, you're off. The problem is if you adhere to a carnivore diet made up entirely of egg whites and fish, you're likely going to develop mercury-related Alzheimer's and some type of egg allergy, giving you rickets and just deceptive thoughts. So a sample menu of easy-to-digest foods might look a little something like a fruit breakfast, half a watermelon, boom, you're happy. Lunch could be grain-based, a little nice quinoa with veggies, but easy veggies. You don't get the fun cruciferous. You have a little garlic and green beans, and zucchini, boom. And then dinner, you have another grain and veggie meal, but a little fish at the end. It writes itself. And then on your vegan days, fish is replaced with beans that you worked up 3 months at a teaspoon a day, increasing rhythmologically. And then you're vegan and strong. And for some reason you were up for a challenge and you wanted a super hard to digest day, you would have a jackfruit pear bowl sprinkled with macadamia nuts and feta cheese. And then for lunch, you might have a lot of cashews with wheat and broccoli. It's a nice little dinner. And then meat would be a little mix of duck and pork with black beans and cheddar cheese on a bowl of Brussels sprouts. It'd be a nice little thing. And then chocolate for dessert. So good for you. Welcome to that day. My best digestion tips, just keeping things simple in your meals. Just mono meal fruit. Very simple, one grain with maybe 2 different vegetables, low fat. Not mixing fat with your rice. No avocado in the rice. Don't challenge yourself. And then if you are gonna have some fish, it's at the end of your meal. Some would say have the fish first and then the rice and veggies. I haven't tried that, but usually I just eat rice and veggies and then the fish. Feels right. Slower fish at the end. So you could do worse than that list. Not bad, Ayurveda. You're wrong about most things, but that, I'll give you that. It's like you can build your own diet out of that. So there you have that. Thank you, fiance, for doing the work. Thank you for thumbing up the video. You could thumb it down, but I know why. It's because you're building a meal right now, and in it is pork with egg yolks, sprinkled aduki beans with fava beans, raw, a Marcus Picks recipe. You're having 3 types of cheese on the side with deep fried Spanish black radishes and a mushroom medley that you sprinkle hickory nuts, macadamia nuts, and you wrap it in a wheat burrito with jackfruit sauce. Are you mocking me or something? How do you think that's going to digest? You think you're not going to fart? You think I want to be around that fart? That type of fart? Think of the mixes of fart aromas in that thing. That sandwich. Give me a break. I'll leave after you donate Bitcoin. And subscribe for more videos, and I'll say thanks.